Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and before we get into today's video, I want you guys to answer this very simple question. How has Season 6 been for you so far in terms of toxic behavior from the community? Now, before I go into detail on what my experiences have been, because it's been very funky, let's say, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss where this fabled, this mystical, this magical developer update video is, which should explain to us what's going on with the punishment system. Now, this has been teased by Jeff, and I don't actually know where this video is. It seems very strange to me that they never put this video out as Season 6 launched, because, well, we need to know what new punishments are in place and what new actions are going to be taken against people who are intentionally throwing games, who are being toxic, who are griefing, who are trolling, and all of that bad stuff. Because right now, it just feels like, well, they can kind of just carry on and get away with whatever the hell they were doing before. Anyway, check this out. This is a tweet that was sent to me, and this highlights a very strange way the system operates. Now, we know for a while that the system will, if you are being toxic in text chat, mute you in the game, which is really stupid, because why they thought in the first place muting a player in a team-based game which requires communication will make them less toxic is just like, what? Would you want a guy like that on your team? You know, would you honestly want somebody on your team who is toxic but they can't use any of the text channels, or they can't join voice chat because they've been silenced? It's silly, but we know this is going away, but it's not common knowledge. We know this, but it's not, there isn't a video out there saying comprehensively from the devs this is going away. There isn't anything in the game which says, look, this is the new punishment system, this is what's going to happen. As far as I'm aware, what will happen, because Jeff did put a post on the forums and I did kind of cover this I think last week, they are going to go away from this system and they are just going to start issuing bans to people. Because if you're toxic, we don't want you in the game. Like, we don't want you there, like, oh, you can still play but you can't talk, because you can still be toxic in other ways. You can troll and do all kinds of mad stuff. Anyway, let me explain to you guys what has gone on with me in this season so far. So I think I've played around 55 games of competitive so far this season. It has been more toxic, it has been more griefy, more trolley, more whatever you want to call it than Season 5 at the end of Season 5 was. Now, I'm trying to work out why this is the case, and I think there's a couple of issues here which is causing a little bit of an explosion in toxicity. Obviously, the first reason is we don't know, or it's not commonly known, what all of the punishments will be. So this means trolls just think, whatever, I'm not going to get punished, and they keep doing whatever they're doing. The other reason is some pretty drastic changes to some of the map formats. I'm looking at U-Control, and we'll get onto that in a second. And the fact that there's some drastic changes to the meta. And what I mean by the meta is the different power levels in certain heroes. So what I've noticed is you will go into games and people will want the standard dive comp. They'll want Winston tank, they want, you know, Zenyatta, Lucio, they won't accept any other healers, they won't accept any other tanks, and they will get very toxic if the tank selects, let's say, Orisa, or one of the DPS goes Junkrat. They'll be like, what are you doing? Change the hero. Now, what tends to happen is you get these players where they'll sort of be like, can we get a Winston? And the Orisa player is like, just says nothing back to them and plays Orisa, and you're thinking, okay, I'm sitting there like on Zen and I'm thinking, right, okay, what's going to happen? We go into the first attack, we lose, and then straight away the player who's asking for the change just starts to flame like crazy. And I've seen this a lot, and I think again it's because people are putting a lot of emphasis on these early games in the season, because they're thinking, I can climb, you know, I'm going to do my placement games, there's a pressure on me for my placement games, but then after those placement games I really want to start winning games so I can get out of this elo hell, which by the way doesn't exist, guys. But that's kind of the mentality these players have got, so they get really hyped up, and if anything changes that they don't like, they immediately go toxic. They're like, what are you doing? This is the worst thing ever. They get really aggressive, and then they start throwing themselves. And the funny thing is, if you get players on your team that do that, guys, you have to report them. They are the ones being toxic. I know they don't mean to be toxic, but they're just so hyped up and they're so ridiculous that they want to win, yeah, that they become toxic, and you've got to report them, because how else are they going to learn? Now, let's talk about some of the game modes, or rather one game mode, the control game mode. I've noticed a massive increase in toxicity in this game mode, because before it was best of 5. Now what that meant is you had to win 3 games. So if you went 1 map down, it was like, okay guys, it's fine, we can come back. Then if you lose the next map, it's like, okay, we're 2 down, maybe we can reverse sweep, let's try. Or then people will be like, what's the point, I'm just going to throw. What happens now is, this happens after one game. You lose the first map, and that's generally it. People are like, well, whatever, this is pointless now. We've lost, this is so bad. They start blaming picks on the team, now blame like a Junkrat, because Junkrat is seen pretty much all of the time now, because his Riptire is crazily OP, but that is getting nerfed. So they'll just insta-tilt. And this whole like idea of them insta-tilting is totally ridiculous to me, because you only have to win 2 points. That's the best way to look at it. It doesn't matter if you lose 1 point. It makes no difference. You still have to win 2. I am on record, if you guys follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, which you should do, saying I like this best of 3 system. I do, because it means that you don't get these 20-minute long control games which can go the complete distance, and then you lose 99%. That feels really frustrating. But now we're kind of getting more toxicity, because people are like, oh, we've lost the first map, let's just get out of it. It's so frustrating, and I really hate it. So yeah, my overall experience has been one of, yeah, there's been great games. There always will be great games with Overwatch, but then there's been very bad games. And when I mean very, very bad games, I mean Torbjorn jumping off the map. Now, actually, this happened to the enemy team. So we were on Ilios, and they had a very, very good Tracer player. I think this guy's a fairly known Tracer player. He was really, really good. And then for whatever reason, he just started popping up in the kill feed as Torbjorn committing suicide over and over again. And I couldn't understand what was going on. But then when you looked at the game, it was like, okay, well, we took the first point and we were 50% up on Ilios. And this player had obviously thought, what's the point? I'm just going to kill myself. Those players should be banned off this game. If anybody ever goes down that path of I'm just going to throw, they should not be playing competitive. They should be got rid of. Because there is always a chance in Overwatch of making that comeback, and I want you guys to understand that. Never give up. Be like, yeah, there's always a chance, guys. Be positive. Like, life is too short, ladies and gentlemen, to be negative. Guys, let me know what has happened to you in Season 6 so far. Hopefully, we should get a video. I'm hoping it comes tonight, or maybe we get it at some point this week, which explains the system and the punishment system and how it's going to change for this season. Alright guys, I've been StyleOsa, this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and you can join the Discord, which is discord.gg/UnitLost. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.